Hi, Prowork is a project management application that makes team collaboration on projects easy. This video is a walkthrough on how you could use Prowork to manage your projects and your team members. Let's get started. Once you log into Prowork, you'll be greeted with a page that contains a list of all your projects. Now, these are projects that you are either the owner or you've been drafted into by another project manager. Prowork organizes your workspace by projects. For the purpose of this video, we'll be creating a sample project to get started. Let's call this project we'll call it the Lagos Mobile Project. So click Add Project, and Prowork takes us directly into that project workspace, a dashboard through which you can manage different aspects of your projects very easily. Now, at the beginning of any project, you want to consider a couple of things. For instance, who will be your team members or collaborators for this project? What role are they going to play in the project? What are the project requirements or specifications? How much time are each of these requirements or specifications going to take? So with Prowork, you convert these project requirements and specifications into tags, and they will appear here in the tags list column. So to get started, let's add two other project team members that will be working with us on this Lagos Mobile project. You could easily do this by clicking this button here, and I'm going to add my colleagues, Ernest. So you use their emails to add them. Okay, you can see Ernest is already here, and we're notified immediately, okay, about a new activity. Then let's add someone else. So for this project, I'll be working with Ray and Ernest, and as you can see, it's very easy to add them in this project. So once you add a project member, the project member gets notified by email that you have drafted them into that project. From that email, they'll be able to click and have direct access to this project as long as they're already on Prowork. If they are not on Prowork, they'll be given a temporary access into Prowork from which they can now create their account. So the next thing we'll do for this project is to list the project requirements and specifications as tags. So here we can add a tags using this button. It gives you two fields, one for the tags title and also one for the due date. And this tax will be due Wednesday next week. Okay, so we just click Add Tax, and immediately we can see the tax has been added here. Let's add some more tax for this project. Once we're done adding our tasks, the next thing would be to assign them. Before we do that, let me show you one interesting feature of Prowork. Prowork allows you to prioritize the tasks. So the project manager can decide which task comes first and which one follows. So for now, we are going to move this down the queue. Okay, and we'll move this up and just to get them in the proper order. Okay, so we have our task list, but who is supposed to do them? So the next thing we'll do is that we'll assign these tasks to the people who are project members already. So that's very easy. You just click this icon and we get this button to assign members to this task. So here you see a list of all the project members, and as the project admin or the task creator, you'll be able to assign these tasks to the project members. Let's assign this to myself, and if there's more than one person on this to do this task, we could already also assign someone else to it. Okay, there. When you do this, the project members that you've assigned to this task would immediately get a notification by SMS or by email. So already, wherever they are, they know that you've assigned them this particular task. This is one of the interesting collaboration features that we have in Prowork. So as we are done assigning that particular task, okay, let's assign the other ones to other people. So for order and install equipment, let's assign that to Ernest. He will get an alert also for this particular task that has been assigned to him. For conducting the hardware and software testing, let's Opeyemi be the one to do that. Interesting. You could do the same thing for all the other tasks in this. So let's quickly do that. See, this is very fast and very intuitive. So very good. Now you have all your tasks and you have assigned them to different people, different project members. As the project admin or the task creator, you'll be able to modify. For instance, you want to change this to, let's make it proper, order and install equipment. Okay, so that, and to change this just to, okay. There. So now we've set up this project. We've converted the project requirements and specifications into tasks, okay, and we have assigned them to different project members. You're aware that you also have this view on mobile. So let's say, for instance, I am not in front of my PC. Okay. The other project members would be waiting for a feedback. So I could easily update the status of this particular task, okay, on mobile. Let's just pull out here you have the Prowork on mobile, and this is exactly the way it will look on your mobile phone. on your BlackBerry. Remember, we have Prowork on BlackBerry and feature phones currently. So you could also have this on, for instance, their Nokia devices. Okay, so this is Prowork on a Nokia device. Okay, but let's continue with the BlackBerry. So this is Prowork here. So we'll just log in to update the status of that task which we completed out of our office. Okay, so the same projects list. Okay, the project we are concerned with is the Lagos mobile project, so I click that and I see different call to actions here. I could look at the notification tags. I want to update the status of the secure agreement tags, so I click this. Okay, now so here you already see a list of all the tags, and this has been assigned to me. I could easily update the status of this tag, so I just say change task status. So this, if I do this, see already, and the task is marked as done. So the project manager would get an alert that that particular project has been done, and if he's still working on PC, and you can see, okay, this has been updated to completed, so it's already ticked as done. Now this same thing applies, okay, to this other task. So once a task is done, the team members could update the status of the task, and very useful collaboration tool is that the project manager gets notified immediately. Now say for instance that I think so Ernest is assigned to this task. Say for instance he needs to clarify something about this task. He could easily drop a note for any of the project members. So once you want to mention a project member in the note, all you need to do is to start it with an @ symbol, and you start typing, and okay, for here it gives you this option, okay, or you can see. So I could say Ernest, for instance, could mention Francis in this particular note. So please Francis, could you look at the estimates again? Ernest wants to send the estimates. Okay, he has got the estimates for the equipment he has been asked to order and install. So this perhaps in the form of a pro forma invoice that is very common. He could easily attach that invoice, perhaps it's an Excel file, PDF, Word file, to this particular note. So let's go ahead and add and browse to the particular file that he wants to attach. So let's say, okay, okay, this could be the invoice. It could be any file. Okay. So automatically the file gets uploaded. So you could already see it's been added here. Now what we're doing here is that Ernest wants to pass on to Francis, okay, to get a second opinion on the pro forma invoice that was just issued for the equipment he wants to install. So here you already see the file, so he could choose that file and attach it to this particular note. Say add that, and it's added immediately. There's an indicator here to tell Francis, okay, that there's a file attached to this particular note. So once he does this, okay, you can see the collaboration comes into play here. Another angle. Once he adds this note, Francis gets an email alert. He gets an SMS alert to tell, look, Ernest just mentioned you in a note. Something requires your attention. Head over to Prowork, or pull out the Prowork mobile app on your device, and you'll be able to see the notes Ernest just sent to you. Now Ernest, at the end of this, okay, Francis could reply and and all that, so it's very easy. Now if Ernest wanted to send this as a private message, you could use this messages link and you could send this as a private message, so it's not visible to the other project members. So once this task is done, NS could as well also take this as done, and you can already see a lot of progress is being made, and the project indicator here automatically updates the status of the entire project. So how this is calculated is basically a fraction of the done tasks over the total tasks that have been assigned for the particular project. Now, Prowork has another feature called scorecard. You could easily see how much a particular project member is achieving at any particular time by just clicking the profile picture, for instance here. So this is my scorecard. Okay, so I have 2 tasks, I've done 1, so I have a 50% completion rate on this project. So this easily gives the project manager an easy way to measure the performance of the project members in a particular project. You could also head over to this right column and you see a list of all the tasks that have been assigned. You could download them by just clicking, and it will prompt the file to start downloading, or in this case opening the browser. Okay, also look at the project stats, the day the project was started, the reports for that project. You could also generate a report. A report is an easy, in case you want to hand in a project report at any particular time for any project that you're working on in Prowork. You could easily generate a project report easily, and that comes in a Word format that you could easily download and present to perhaps the project manager or any other person that needs a project report. Okay, so on the mobile device, you also get instant notification on what's happening in a particular project that you belong to. For instance, here at the bottom you already see there's a notification bar. If I were to click that, it takes me to the notifications page for that project. So from there I can see all the activity that has happened on that particular project. Interesting. All the way down. So with this, you're always up to date on the different activities in the projects that you're working on. You could also add a note. Okay, so you could add a note to that particular task. Okay, so you could add a new note. And we post that on the go. So nice. So you could do all this on mobile. You could manage your tasks, add a note to a task, update the status of a task, say you've done it. This is pretty convenient if you find yourself having to walk out of the office at the same time you want to update the project manager on how perhaps a task you had to do out of the office went. So you could easily update that task here, and he already knows that you are working on that particular task. So as you can see, it's pretty easy, pretty straightforward. You could get started, just list the project requirements or specification as tasks, assign them to your project members. You could add many people, and there are different roles. You could change the role of a particular project member. Okay, just make him you can give him admin privileges. You can make him just a member or a follower. A follower is not able to update, but is able to observe the project in Prowork. So there, I hope this walkthrough helps you get started with using Prowork and watch your business process transform remarkably.